apologies in advance for my tardiness. There's a lot going on, but I'm sorry I'm not in Lolita. But hi, we're going to talk about YouTube, and that's more important.
I'm envious of your outfit right now, honestly.
Thank you.
I want to be there.
It's incognito.
So yeah, we are all YouTubers, Lolita-specific fashion YouTubers. We have different levels of experience. Kim is, I should let you.
Yeah.
start.
Hi.
Yeah.
My name is Kim. My YouTube channel is Kimbuucha. I am 35, and I started my YouTube channel last March, so during the Panini.
Could
I've
you
had it for
pull
about a
up
year and a half.
the next slide for Kim's page? Next one?
Yay!
okay.
Yeah, there we go. Yay! It's me. I upload videos about twice a month, and then I also do live streams. That's like my jam right now. So if you're curious about live streams, I'll talk about that a little bit later. Up next, we have Joelle.
I was trying to get my slide on my phone, but I'm too late. Okay, so maybe I can introduce myself without a slide, or you can look up. I'm actually 39 years old, and I live in Switzerland, and English is not my first language, but I decided to do YouTube in English to have a wider possible audience. I started, I think, 5 years ago. I think my YouTube anniversary is on December 6th, something like that. I actually started cheerleading brand, and then a fluffy toy Lolita brand after that, and then I'm still running both of them and YouTube. And when I started YouTube, I started to do a lot of different things. Then I focused on Lolita because this is what worked the best for me, and I don't know what else I had to say.
Oh, here.
Yeah, no, that's fine. Yeah, I actually have a master's in computer science, and I studied Egyptology, and I'm doing none of it. Except, yeah, we were doing the Fluffy Show, the software that's running for the fashion show. My boyfriend and I are doing that, so I still do a little bit of computer science, but not that much. And so far, I've done close to 800 videos. I actually publish 3 times a week at the moment, and I cannot do less because I produce too much content. But that's a little bit crazy with 2 or other jobs. So,
Hi, I'm Laura. I started making YouTube videos around 2011, 2012, and I started because I didn't know that there was a Lolita community outside of Japan, and I wanted to film events and basically share with everybody that there is a community that's thriving, and I started in the United States. I now live in Canada, but I would document events. And then as of 2016, YouTube became my full-time job. So it's really fun, love it.
Hell yeah.
I went to film school, so I kind of had that background. I started off in animation and then realized, oh, I can't draw, what am I doing? So I switched over to film, and it kind of led me into YouTube. I've been in some documentaries and things, and I just love sharing Lolita fashion and documenting these events and sharing support and positivity for the community. And also, all of my slides today that I show, I have made with the intention for you to take photos of. Like, there's a lot of dense information. So if you are thinking about making a YouTube, starting, like my gear photos, all of that, I have made these slides so that you're fully welcome to snap pictures of them because there's good resources on them. So please feel free, any of my slides while I'm talking, you can take photos of them.
They're a good time, by the way, so love Laura's slides.
and mine, you can.
Yes.
You can also take pictures of mine if you need to. Okay.
So let's get into gear
Yes.
as soon as Alexis gets ready.
Oh, can I just mention something? I forgot to say my name. My name is Joelle, and my YouTube channel is Fluffy Kawaii Joe, and my brand is Fluffy Tori, but I am not called Tori. The Tori is just for bird in Japanese, and my name is the Joe in Fluffy Kawaii Joe. But a lot of people confuse that, so yeah. Sorry.
Okay, so now we're going to talk about gear, which is, what cameras do we use, what lights do we use, all of the fun stuff that people can go down a rabbit hole trying to figure out what works best for them. So this is my gear. I'm not going to go too much into the specifics. I will say that I use a mirrorless camera, and if you're ever going to look into cameras, like there's a difference between them, but mirrorless is usually pretty light. And I have a giant light, and I also have some like LED lights in the background. So for my streams, I try to have like different colored lights in the background. And having a good microphone is pretty important. So I have a variety of different microphones. Up here, there's some wireless microphones and like a shotgun mic and all kinds of stuff like that. What else do I use? So if you're ever gonna look at cameras and you're looking at a camera that is like a mirrorless camera or a DSLR camera, you'll notice that like there's different lenses that you can get. It can be very overwhelming, but the one thing I'll say is that the lower the number, the like bigger the space you can film. So like if you're in a small space, I would recommend getting like a lower number, like 16, 12, 18, stuff like that. So yeah, this is pretty much I could go on for like 30 minutes about gear, and I won't because I'm sure you'll be like super bored, but this is just briefly what I use for my sit-down videos that I film.
So I guess if you have questions afterwards, feel free to ask more details.
Yes. And then, like I mentioned, I also do streams, which is super fun. The biggest thing about streaming, if you ever want to do streaming, you'll want to invest in a really good microphone because you're going to do a lot of talking. So the microphone that I use is a Rode pod mic. And if you're trying to figure out what kind of microphone you'd want to get, Rode is a really good brand for microphones. So you can't go wrong if you get anything from Rode. A microphone arm is great to avoid the boom, right, if you're on the table. If you ever watch anyone's streams and they have the brr, 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 they're probably pushing a stream deck, so that's what that is. Oh, and something else very important for streaming is to make sure you have a really good internet connection. So hard wiring your internet is going to make sure you have a really smooth, stable stream. So if you have a partner that can run 100-foot Ethernet cables through attics, kudos. But yeah, that's pretty much my basic streaming gear. And if you have any questions, you can ask at the end. I'll also talk more specifically about streaming and like the benefits of it and stuff like that. So that's pretty much my gear.
So here's what I have for gear. I have split that into what I do is mostly vlogging and inside. So here's my vlogging setup. I would have shown it to you if I did not break it like 20 minutes ago.
Oh, well, I'm sorry.
I think it's fixable. But I have the Osmo, how is it called? DJI Osmo Mobile 3, I think they're running the 5 now, and it's a gimbal for your phone, like a stabilizer, and so I invested in it into the latest at that point, but I'm always going, when I buy a new phone, to the highest capacity, so I can put a lot of videos in it and the coolest possible cameras, and then I have a perfectly good thing to film on the go, and I have my stabilizer, and actually this gets me smoother footages than if I was running with my camera that's over there around. So when I'm doing events or B-roll for my also vlogs or hauls or things like that, I'm all doing with my gimbal. And I'm also editing everything on my phone. So this is something that you could consider because I'm always on the go. I have the software called LumaFusion, and it saved my life. I think it's only on iPhones, but you can find other ones. And it's really, really cool because you can do everything that I can do in Premiere, but on your phone. So when you're commuting, you can edit your videos and you don't have to sit down on your computer. So this is really cool. But I also started with just my iPhone 6, so you don't need a super fancy camera to do that. And there's tons of free editors that you can do to edit your videos. And now next, this is my studio. So we decided with my boyfriend to dedicate a whole room of our apartment. That was our home office. We decided to clean it up. We put the home office in the bedroom, and now I have my whole studio, which is amazing. And I have 2 big soft boxes, a big tripod. I do not have the ring light anymore. I put it in my selfie studio place that I opened. But I don't really need it because of the big boxes, but you can also start with just a big window and everything. And like Kim mentioned, I have a big Rode VideoMic Pro. And so yeah, this is what I'm doing when I'm sitting talking videos. And next slide, I have my setup for when I'm doing bigger shoots. We also have a boom pole and my brother and boyfriend helping me running bigger shoots. So we can do, and we have a GoPro and everything. Yeah, I think that's it.
Okay, can you go to next slide for me, please? Cool, all right, so there's a lot of my stuff is kind of building off of both Kim and Joelle. A lot of it's kind of repeat information, but there's a few little tips and tricks that I've picked up over the years that I wanted to share with all of you. For example, recently I have started playing around with fun colored lighting, and I tried so many different ways, spent so much money on stupid colored lights, and there's 2 ways that I found to do it really affordably and really effectively, and that is with floodlights. They're $12 on Amazon, rather than getting the big LED, softbox colored lights, whatever, just get a floodlight. And also cellophane sheets. So you can put cellophane sheets, you can get them for a couple dollars on Amazon, grocery store, wherever, craft store. You don't want to leave them on your lights for a long period, so you want to film for maybe 30 minutes, an hour tops, but you can get this really fun colored light effect with just taping cellophane sheets, and then you have all these different fun options. If you ever decide to get a green screen, those 2 there, don't do it. Don't waste your money, okay? If you get a fabric green screen, you're gonna spend so much time steaming it, ironing it, you're just gonna waste all that time. This pop-up one has a black border, and when you go to key out the green, it's such a weird shape that you always end up with this cut edge. This roll-up one is $150. It's kind of expensive, but it's such a lifesaver. You can bring it with you places if you go to events. You can just roll it up in 5 seconds. You don't need to steam it, iron it, anything. It's good to go. I highly, highly recommend if you ever are interested in green screening, just get a collapsible lift-up green screen. Also, something that I really struggled with when I started is that I find that with Lolita videos, and also cosplay and event videos, I like to have this effect of my subject, the person that I'm filming, being in focus, and then the background being more blurred. And the way that you achieve that is with a lower f-stop specifically, and you want to create distance between your subject and the background. And so one of my favorite lenses that I use is a f1.4 30mm, which is kind of expensive, but you can find the same sort of effect with a 50mm lens of a similar low f-stop, and those are $100, which is a bit of an investment, but you'll end up using it so much, and you'll really, really like the dynamic shots that you get with that. Can you go to my next slide, please? And then these are my vlogging on the go pieces. A Tascam is really great. It's like a little studio on the go. There's such minimal setup. You can plug in different mics to it if you want, but you can also just have it and put it in someone's face, and it's perfect. It sounds excellent. It's great for traveling. It's great for if you're filming in a space and you're moving around, it's gonna be great because you're not gonna have that distance between you and your mic. And I have a very expensive gimbal, but I honestly don't use it that much because I end up using a monopod a lot more frequently because it's just easy to travel with, and you can also hold it as kind of a tripod too. And so it's an easier way to start if you want to have more stable shots on the go.
Let me tell you about gimbals.
Huh?
Let me tell you about gimbals.
Oh yeah.
I've been trying to run around with the gimbal this event. They're Laura's suggestion, yes, do it. They're really great for stable shots, but the whole balancing aspect of it can really be a challenge. So I dig the monopod.
It's definitely like a learning curve, I think, and like when you're in the moment and you're trying to just get shots, it's sometimes like too stressful to like figure it all out. I feel like if you have like planned a shoot and you're doing it and you have like time, it's good. But I feel like for cons and stuff where everything's just happening and you don't want to miss this moment, having a monopod that it'll help, you can stabilize it like to you, like anchor it kind of to you and hold it, and that will give you a smoother shot. Be careful in Lolita though, because the bottom of it has like these little stands that you can put on the ground, and that can like cut up your dress. So be careful. But yeah, that covers my gear.
Okay, so now we're going to talk about like, if you were to get started with a YouTube channel and you didn't have X budget, or you had X budget, what kind of things would you be looking to get? What kind of recommendations would people give? So on and so forth. And the biggest thing to keep in mind with recommendations, not only from us, if you ever do your own research, is that it's really going to depend what you get on your need. So just because someone says, oh, you should go get a $3,000 camera, what is your need? Do you really need a $3,000 camera? Are you filming safaris? That kind of thing. So we've come up with 3 different groups of things that if you had this budget and you wanted to get started, here are some things that would be great to look into so you can get started. And the first would be if you're like entry level, you have no money to spend to start a YouTube channel. The best tool to use is the tools you already have, right? So if you're trying to get into YouTube and you don't have money to buy a camera, turns out our cell phones make really good cameras. They're like $1,000 pocket cameras. So that's a great place to start. I started with my cell phone. Joelle, you said you also,
I started with my cell phone too.
Yeah.
That was a horrible cell phone. It was awful.
I think the cell phone
The
we
iPhone
have
4 was the first thing I found on.
Dang.
The
4.
cell phone we have now are better quality than the webcam the big YouTubers started with. So this is amazing what we have in our pockets already.
Yeah, and a lot of them, like, not that you need to shoot in 4K, because that's a whole nother story when it comes to editing in 4K, but like, our phones can shoot in 4K, so do keep that in mind. So yeah, you can definitely start with your cell phone. And if you don't have money to like invest in lights, you can use natural lighting. The picture that we have up here is an example of how you would position yourself if you were to use natural light. So you'd want to be facing the natural light, your window, maybe like a sliding glass door or something like that. So the light is lighting your face and the light isn't behind you, because then it's gonna be really washed out or blown out. So that's just an example of the position. And there are tons of free video editing apps that you can get for your phone, as well as on the internet. So free ones, there's Shotcut, Video Leap if you're on mobile, and then if you're on a computer, there's DaVinci Resolve, there is iMovie. I keep wanting to say Windows Movie Maker, but I know that could be a pain sometimes, so. Yeah, but those are all places to start. So if you're just like, I want to get started, I want to like get in the practice of making videos, hearing myself, those are all really good places to start. Does anyone else have any suggestions? No? Okay, cool. All right, so let's say you got some like holiday money. Someone was like, hey, here's $500, go to town. And you're like, okay, I got $500. What could I do with this $500 to like kind of up the ante a little bit? The most important thing to me, I mean, I don't think you guys would disagree, but it's fine if you do. The most important thing when you're recording YouTube videos is your audio. People will listen to YouTube in the background while they're cleaning, doing dishes. A lot of times people aren't even watching the screen. So you want to make sure that people can hear you well and that your audio is really clear, and that it's not, too echoey or not too far away and things like that. So with that in mind, getting yourself a dedicated microphone is gonna be a really good investment. If you were to say, I wanna use my cell phone, get a dedicated microphone, and then that will really level up your videos so they sound really good, so people will watch them, and maybe in the background. I'm the type of person that like listens to YouTube while I'm cleaning and stuff like that, so yeah.
Can I add something? to
Yes.
that? I would say that if you use your phone to film, the audio is good enough to start, but if you buy a big DSLR, the audio is really crap, and so you really cannot use a DSLR without a specific microphone. So just keep that in mind, that if you want to upgrade your camera, you have to upgrade the sound with it. There's no other option.
Yeah.
But with the phone, you can stay, like, it's made to call, so the sound is okay on it, but the sound on a big camera is terrible. So in that, you have to invest in the mic.
One of the reasons for that too is because on a onboard mic on a DSLR, you're also going to pick up the actual mechanics of the camera too, and it's like just really not meant to be used for audio. It's just used as sort of like a base, so that when you record your audio separately, you have that source of audio from your original video to sync it with. But it's really not meant to be used as like a mic.
One other thing to also keep in mind with audio is that depending on the kind of microphone that you're using, if you're using like a shotgun mic or even your cell phone mic, you want to be arm's distance. You want to be able to touch the microphone arm's distance away. If you're any further than that, that's how you get like a really echoey video or video sound. So if you do get a shotgun mic or you're using a microphone on your phone, it's a good practice to stay within arm's distance of it so your audio is loud and clear. And yeah.
Did not know that. Thank you.
Yeah. Learn that the hard way. If
you have really high ceilings, I recently learned this, it's best to like have your mic pointing in a way, so if you can, to like have it above you, because if you're pointing your mic just at you and you have high ceilings, it's gonna just like bounce back and be real echoey. And I haven't had high ceilings until recently, and I had to learn this the hard way. So then in that case, you would try to get some sort of stand for your mic and have it be out of frame above you. Or you could use a little lav mic, and a lav mic you could get pretty cheaply and just plug into your phone and record with.
Yeah. Okay, so your mic's not gonna cost $500. So the next thing you could do is upgrade your light, actually get dedicated video lights. The ceiling lights are nasty and they cast like yellow shadows and all kinds of stuff. And it's better to be able to control your light than to have to rely on ceiling lights, fluorescent lights, things like that. So getting yourself some budget soft boxes or ring lights or what other kind of lights are there? LED lights, LED panels will be really, really good, and playing around with that to make sure that your shot is properly lit and you look good. What else?
You mentioned tripod?
Tripod, you could get a tripod. So when I first started, I didn't have a tripod. I would like just put the phone like on a bookshelf or something like that, which will work, right? But having a dedicated tripod is great. And when I did get a dedicated tripod for my cell phone, yes, got it. You can get tripods that have Bluetooth remotes, so then you can control your video on your phone to hit record if you're away from the camera. You don't want to have to like get up and hit the button and all of that. So that's a good option.
When you get into buying lenses and like nicer cameras, don't go cheap on your tripod. Get a heavy-duty tripod, because I cheaped out on a tripod and tripped over it and broke a lens, and it was devastating.
Oh, no.
So like, don't be like, oh, I'm gonna save money here. No, like get a heavy-duty tripod, please.
That could work for like a lot of things, I feel like. If you like buy it once, buy it right. Is that the saying?
Yeah.
What's the saying?
Yeah.
I can't remember. But I've wasted money buying things thinking like, oh, I'll just buy it cheap. And then I've ended up having to spend more money to get
buy more
yep.
things.
So like, buy the nice thing once and then you're good. And then you can get real lucky and get a used DSLR or a used mirrorless camera, or point and shoot camera for about $500 or under. So if you were like, all right, I want to like get into cameras, shopping secondhand sites for used cameras can be a great way to get into videography and stuff like that without having to make that investment of like dropping $1,000 or more.
Also, I can recommend going to the photo shop where they would sell that, and they would have secondhand stuff that they would have control themselves and everything. And so I bought my lens secondhand there from the photo store, and it was at least safer than buying from someone on eBay or something like that, because the photo store knew about how to check if it was damaged or something.
I really like B&H Photo. They are an American-run photo company. They have like used and new products. What's important to remember is that they're very Jewish-run, and so they won't operate on any Jewish holidays. So sometimes you might go to their website if you don't know Jewish holidays, and you're like, why isn't anything working? That's why. So, but I really I've gotten most of my gear from them. And they also have a physical location in New York, I believe.
Yes. Yeah. I was going to go somewhere else. What was I going to say? I'm sorry. Okay. And then let's say you got $1,000 or more. You're like, I work hard for my money. Like, I'm ready to get into it. Let's get into it. That would be a great time to start researching what kind of camera would be good for your needs. And how you plan to use that camera. There are a lot of cameras. There's a lot of choices. There's a lot of recommendations. There's a lot of brands. Well, there's not really that many brands, but it's a lot of research you could do. So you'll want to take some time to really figure out, are you going to vlog with this camera? Because that might determine what kind of camera you get. You don't want a camera that's too heavy, and you don't want a heavy lens if you're going to vlog with it. You might want something light. So doing that kind of research to figure out that kind of camera would be your first step. And then you can also look at different lenses, like Laura mentioned. A lot of people like the blurry background, so you'll want to look into lenses with a low aperture. And then you might want to consider other peripherals, like more microphones, or what are some other peripherals? I don't know. Fancy camera cases, camera bags.
Extra batteries are always good.
Yeah,
Having
and
an extra battery.
cards.
And also not going cheap on batteries either, and like going with whatever brand you have, because I've seen so many horror videos of cameras just catching fire from using cheap batteries, and then you spend all this money on your nice camera and it like literally explodes from cheap batteries. So yeah, it's a good investment.
Yeah, get your batteries from the camera manufacturer.
Yes, yes, yes.
Something else about batteries is dummy batteries, which is something I didn't really put on here, but it's very, very handy. So dummy batteries are batteries that plug into like an outlet socket, so you don't have to charge the battery, and it just gives it infinite power, which is great if you do like 45-minute videos and you don't want to have to keep changing your batteries out. So dummy batteries are great for that. Something else to think about are licenses and subscriptions, which can really add up if you pay for software monthly, if you want to get like royalty-free music, you want to pay for like a video editor. I don't know if anyone would ever get to that point, but
I do.
Yeah, you do. You could probably talk more about that. But those are other things to kind of think about too. So I pay for a music subscription because I don't want to get copyright strikes. So that's something that factors in monthly, as well as video editing software. I think Adobe is monthly, right?
Yeah. So an interesting thing with a lot of these programs that you would pay for, like editing programs, specifically Adobe, if you have a disability, you can apply for different programs to basically give them feedback for their product, for their service, and you can get it for a really reduced price or free. So I have major dyslexia, and I basically get the Creative Suite for free because every couple months I basically say, hey, here's ways that you can improve your software. Here's some kind of struggles that I came across that could really help me with my dyslexia specifically. So I can't like guarantee that, but you can always like look to apply for those, and it can actually like really help other people with different disabilities and the program to be better. So looking into those programs, I had no idea that this existed at all, and then someone came to my college when I was in school and explained this to me, and I was like, yeah, this is so helpful.
Oh, that's great. One thing I forgot to mention about researching cameras is you can actually rent cameras from, I think it's rentalens.com. And you could rent a camera for like a week if you wanted to try out different cameras without having to like drop all that money and potentially have to deal with returns or like being stuck with something you don't like. So rentalens, yeah. And that's pretty much recommendations based on your budget. Now, if you got like $2,000, $3,000, like go ball out of control.
Also, too, you don't have to do it all at once, too. It kind of seems overwhelming all at once, but you can slowly just like start making content and see the areas of where you want to improve. You don't have to drop it all at one time.
Yeah, start small and then, yeah, see what you can improve, because if you buy the wrong thing at first, or if you spend a lot of money and discover you don't want to do YouTube in the long run, that's also not a good idea. So start with your phone and you'll be good. Also, I'm not sure how long we will have until, because next thing is coming. Alexis, how long do we have?
We still have time. Yeah.
Yeah.
sounds like
Okay,
We're
perfect,
good.
okay.
All right. So up next, we are going to talk about how we plan our content, which is arguably my least favorite part.
That's your least favorite part?
Yes.
Oh my god.
This is
I
my most
just-
favorite part.
So the way that I plan my content originally was I'd get an idea and I'd add it to a spreadsheet and I'd say, this is my idea. And then I would categorize it. I honestly don't do this anymore. Oh, hey, you can't really see it very well, I'm sorry. But I would get an idea and I would say, I want to do a video about, I want to do like a dress review video. And then I would say, all right, well, I want to film it on this day because I've found that planning out days when I'm going to film things keeps me on focus. And then I don't make plans that day. And so I'm like, Saturday is my filming day. I'm not going to go hang out with friends. I'm going to go film videos. And then Sunday's like my editing day. So I would try to schedule out my month with the video ideas that I had and try to stick to that. That way I am consistently getting out content. However, I fell off the wagon and now it's just like, I'm gonna film videos when I can, especially with the holidays coming up. It becomes a little bit of a challenge. But that routine really, really helped me stay consistent. Another thing about content planning is when I originally started, I would just press record and then I would just talk and then I would just talk and I would just talk and then that would be a lot of content to edit out. So I found that making an outline really, really helps with content planning. It really, really helps with keeping the video on target and making sure that the video is pretty focused. I then would like put the dates of when I would film things and when they would go live on a calendar. So I would know to look at it and I would say, all right, this day I have this video going up, I'm gonna work on this thumbnail, and so on and so forth. The two screenshots up there are from a program called Notion, which is, if you've ever used Trello, it's like Trello on steroids. It's really, really great. You can make tables and add all kinds of pictures and things like that, and it was really good for planning and organizing my schedule. But lately, I've really just been loving Apple Notes because I get my best ideas right before bed. So I would just open up my Notes app and then just say, oh, this is a cool video topic. Here's the outline I'm thinking. And then I would just film from there. Like I mentioned, I do 2 videos a month now. I found that that's a schedule I can commit to. If I do anything more than that, I feel really stressed out because it's just make a lot of time for that. So I do 2 videos a month, and then I alternate between the weeks with live streams, which are really free form and much less stress, and I have been digging that so far. So that's pretty much my content planning. Joelle.
Yeah. So this is mine. It's very colorful, and like I said, I produce so much content. Usually I would have at least 2 months ahead, and I'm usually planning on 8 videos a month, like 2 a week. But depending on what I am doing, I might do a third. I'm in a moment where I'm doing 3 big videos. Normally I would do 2 big videos and maybe a short one. Like now YouTube has some short form content that's like TikTok, like you can do 1 minute video. And so I would do like outfits, coordinates usually of that. And now, because I'm doing so much conventions, I'm doing actually 4 events in 5 weeks. So I'm doing vlogs of events, fashion shows, things like that, interviews. So now I'm putting so much content because you don't want to see that event in July next year, because this is what would happen if I don't put out all the videos that I do. So originally, I have made this table to know where I was, because I'm filming several videos in a row, like when I'm at an event like that, or what I'm doing at the moment is I'm filming videos once a month only, like on 1 day a month. I'm filming all my videos. Usually, at the moment, I'm kind of happy if I can do 3 to 4 in the same day, plus 1 live stream that day. And at some point, I was able to make 6 or 7 videos a day, but they were smaller videos. And that will keep me running for the months, and I have other big projects or conventions or things like that to fill the rest. And so, since I had so much footage, I needed to know where I was filming it, editing it, watching it, publishing it, whatever. So this is how I made this column and everything. When I was doing everything by myself, that helped me a lot. Now, I actually paying an editor. Everything that all the money I'm making on YouTube, I will show you later, is not that much, but I'm spending all to pay somebody to help me edit my videos. At the moment, she's maybe doing half of my videos, and the rest I'm doing myself. And when she's doing it, she's doing the whole thing. And when I'm doing it, I'm only editing it and uploading it to YouTube. And then she is doing the thumbnail and description and everything. So this is a huge load of my work. And she is now also, when I'm doing a video, I'm doing also still pictures of me, like holding stuff. So this is easier than trying to find in the video a still image that you have a good face, not something with your mouse because you're speaking. So taking still videos for your thumbnail is a very, very good tip, because then you won't spend hours trying to find something. And so I'm also, if it's a coordinate video or something like that, I'm doing outfit shots. So then I'm sending all the footage to my editor, with or without the edited video, and all the photos, and she's picking up the good one for the thumbnail and the good one for Instagram, and writing my Instagram caption and everything, so that helps me a lot. And then when then I have a ring on my cell phone. When I need to publish the video, I just need to publish it and copy, paste stuff on Instagram, and everything is there. So that helps me a lot. And so I have this calendar. At some point, I had a sheet of paper, like printed calendar with Post-its, where I would keep moving the videos that I wanted to do next, because something bigger came up that was more urgent, like we're doing a collab for the monthly thing or an event. And so I kept doing that. So now it's easier because it's on a Google Sheet, but I can still move the boxes around with my planning of the videos. And so I did not put a picture here, but with my editor, we're using Asana, which is a collaborating tool, and we put the links of the videos and the photos there, and then we move it to different columns when it's to look at, ready, done, things like that. I think that's it.
Okay. Next slide. So, when people see my organization book, they are often say that it looks like serial killer notes. It's pretty chaotic. I am very much like a tangible, physical, like write it down, cross it off when I'm done. That's how I like organize my thoughts. That's how I plan everything. So I usually will write, that one is like my whole month. So on the side, I'll write down all the videos that I want to make for the month, and as I do it, I will like plan out my different weeks and like when I'm gonna film and edit and cross them out as I do it. Many times I don't get to all of those videos and they go to the next month, and that just keeps going and going. And then yeah, as I finish them, I cross them off. So I want to stress that as a full-time YouTuber, burnout is a thing. And from 2016 to 2019, I never took a day off. And someone told me once, you should be working on your YouTube every day. And that was the worst advice I've ever heard. You definitely need to give yourself days off if it's too much for you. There's such a grind culture with social media, with YouTube, and it's okay to take a hiatus. It's okay to not meet whatever goals you set because there's no deadline for you, unless you have like a sponsor or something, but then you can kind of like prioritize those things. But you definitely don't need to be so hard on yourself about it. You don't need to be doing it every day. If you don't post for a month, you're not gonna lose all your subscribers. You'll be fine, you can always come back. And that's something that I've seen a lot, specifically with Lolita YouTubers, is that they will make a couple of great videos and just get burnout and be like, I'm done, I can't do it anymore. And it's so unfortunate because I'm like, I want more. So if you ever start a channel and you need a break, take that break and you can always come back. And there might be like a slow start to coming back, but it's always helpful. People will always find it and really enjoy and appreciate it. What else do I have here? Yeah, I think that's about it for my planning. It's just a lot of notes, many notes.
Can I add to what you said?
Yeah.
I think that planning ahead and filming several videos ahead keeps you from running into this
Burnout, like
yeah,
overwhelmed.
the
Rat race?
I know, yeah, sorry. Like if you do, okay, this is the week, I need to publish a video. I need to find time to, what is the idea? I'm writing it, I'm filming it, I'm editing it, and then you need to push it. That's so stressful because you need to do that all the time. But if you have the way to film a little bit in advance and then publish a little bit in advance, you can spread out your videos, but have one or two couple videos already done. Then you'll have more time to take days off, to do whatever. If you're sick, you don't have to. So for me, it's amazing to have. I have too many videos filmed already. I don't suggest you go with the backlog of 30 videos. It's not healthy, but a couple is good because then you have time to think for yourself.
Yeah, for sure. I definitely film like multiple things. I'll have like a blocked out section of like filming, and then editing. It's such a nice feeling to wake up and be like, I don't want to film today, but I have something to edit and I can work on that. And so having like a backlog is really, really nice.
Also, like guys can sit down and film a video, and if you want to do a video in Lolita, there's hours of makeup and putting together coordinates and everything, and you cannot just do one. It's stupid to just do that. Yeah. So take a whole day and take advantage of the time you took to be. Oh, sometimes when I do meetups with my friends, we meet like in the early afternoon. I'll be sure to be ready 2 hours before and film a couple of videos, because then I take advantage of the time I took to put my makeup on and everything. So.
Yes.
And if you want to make TikToks, make TikToks. Like anytime I film a YouTube video, I will go through my list of TikToks that I want to make, and I'll just make a TikTok. And I find that TikTok's a great way. You can even take clips from your videos and just cut them down, edit them down, and put them on TikTok. It's a great way of like free advertising yourself to reach these newer audiences because their algorithm is just so wild. So that's a great way to just make more use out of your look, out of your time.
Yeah, think of multi-purpose for whatever you're filming. Yeah, if you can take an outfit shot, photos for your Instagram at the same time, or short videos with the same coordinate, or yeah.
Okay.
So I think it's me. Is it?
Yeah.
Making
Oh,
money.
we're going to talk about making some money, because I know that's what a lot of y'all want to hear about. How you make money being cute on camera in Lolita and make YouTube videos. You don't want to ask me because I don't make money, so we're going to talk to...
So I don't know why they decided that I'm the only one talking about branding.
I think our slides got switched.
Sorry?
I think our slides got switched. But go ahead. Sorry.
I don't know.
It's because you have really consistent branding, and
Yes.
Kim and I both don't have
I do
consistent
know.
branding.
I don't know what happened, but at some point I was like, I don't have a real definite look in Lolita. So many people, I don't see their face, I instantly notices them because the way they put together their Lolita coordinates, and I can I was envious of that. And I went from this to being known for being mint and pink all the time, and I don't know how it happened, and I'm so happy it happened. And now I have friends texting me, oh, I saw that, whatever, storefront, mint and pink, and I thought of you. So I managed to make those two colors be my brand, and that's amazing. And I don't know how it happened, actually. I just noticed that mint was a very pretty color on me. I had many pink stuff, I don't know. And I moved to making my wardrobe that, and so then it looked cool on me, so I kept doing that. Then when I needed to paint my studios, I picked these colors, and so I guess by branding, it's only just, it's not your, like, if you can have your same image on your Instagram, YouTube, whatever, it's good because people recognize you, but if you can go further and go into more of your style and colors and fonts and whatever, go find something that is your identity everywhere and make it super consistent everywhere. I guess that helps for like building your personal brand and that people can recognize your thumbnails, whatever. So yeah, also it goes into branding. You can see like your intro, like, hello friends, or something that you say at the end, or you have your branding in also vocal things that you do. What else? Yeah, I think I made it, yeah. Do you have anything to add?
My branding is very inconsistent. I have switched colors, I've switched thumbnail styles, I switched a lot of stuff multiple times, and I think I'm still trying to figure out like what is my branding.
It is good to try until you figure out.
Yeah, and it's okay if you haven't figured out your thing yet. Totally fine. Take however much time you need, and when you find it, it'll click, and then that'll be it. Yeah, that's all I have really about
I have
branding.
no consistent branding at all. My branding is that I'm not consistent.
So basically, I'm telling that, and Kim is telling she doesn't have any, and yet, and we both make very low video views, and she doesn't have any, and she makes tons of views. So basically, maybe it doesn't help that much.
Keep them on their toes.
No, I think it's just like you cultivate your own audience, and they come to expect different things. And so, like, if you have consistent branding, like, they will come to expect that. But I haven't ever had that, so it's just what it is. But I think the branding is really important, and like, a lot of times viewers want to come back and they want to know what they're going to see. They want to like know what they're expecting, and I feel like my videos don't do as well in that department because I am so all over the place. But I feel like with your content specifically, it's like, oh, like I know I want to watch like a fluffy Kawaii Joe. I know what I'm expecting. I know this. It can be really comforting, and so I really admire your branding. Like, I'm so inspired by it. I just can't like commit.
Well, could branding also be like a series that you do? Like, you have your Fixing Your Chord series, and you have your Action Lolita series. So your branding could also be a series of videos that you do you love, that people know, oh, okay, we're going to get this series of video from Elizabeth or Margaret. I like old lady names. Beatrice.
So now this is the money slide.
Who should start?
You should start because
Okay.
you're first.
So I didn't really feel comfortable like exposing my entire income because all of my income comes from YouTube. In 2020, it was mostly just from YouTube ad revenue, Patreon, and then a few sponsors. And I was posting 2 or 3 times a week. But in 2021, I really shifted my focus to finding sponsors and being able to put more time into my videos, because I found that for me, they are more successful than just trying to post so often, when I actually take the time to like write a script and like conceptualize what kind of set I want to do and like this and film in different locations and stuff. And like, I'm really grateful to have found sponsors to help me be able to do that, because I can put in more time, more effort, more work into my videos and not have to worry about, oh, I didn't post 3 videos this week, so my revenue is going to go down. And I'm going to explain how I found sponsors and all of that in the next one. But so this is my kind of statistic from 2020, but for 2021, until I do my taxes, which you should all do taxes on YouTube. Now they're taking it out automatically, but they haven't been before, so you have to like hold side money for taxes. So I won't really know my exact percentages until then, but I've definitely shifted my focus to get more of my income from specifically sponsorships than revenue of ads. So, yeah.
And so mine, I don't know if you want to go through everything, but I put the actual brackets of money that I could get. And so I did not mention that I have 7,200 something subscribers. So I'm not saying that's how much you can get at that level, but that can get you an idea. So also when you start, you won't be able to monetize your videos right away. You need to get 1,000 subscribers and 4,000 hours of watch time in the last year. So that's a lot. So when you start, you will do a lot of videos without being paid by the advertising on YouTube. But something that you could do is Patreon, for example. I started super early to do Patreon, and it took a while to catch on. And what I did to get more patrons was to ask my friends at my birthday party to actually, instead of giving me a present, to go support me on Patreon. And at that point, I had 1 or 2 patrons, and then I got like 10 by having my friends do that. And then it kind of snowballed. People saw, oh, she has more patrons, so then it got the ball starting. So that helped me. And so at that point, I was not getting any revenue from YouTube. And even when you are actually monetized, it's like a couple of cents per video at the start. So don't expect like, ooh, I'm gonna do videos and get rich. So don't do that for the money. Do that for the passion. Mm-hmm. Because at first, it's so many hours of work for no money. So yeah. Sponsors have not been making me a lot of money. You can maybe start getting free stuff, but don't get free stuff that, like, people will want to give you free stuff and expect you to make a full video, like 20 minutes of it, and do a TikTok and post 20 photos on Instagram. Don't do that. This is work. So unless it's something that you would have bought yourself and you're happy to get it for free, then you can do that promo, but don't get, I don't know, something so unrelated and they won't even pay for your time of all the work you're putting. So yeah, most of the sponsors I would have would be free things that I would cover maybe in a haul or something like that, or people who actually did pay me, but not that much. So Lore has tons of things to tell us about that. I cannot wait to learn more about that. And so there's other platforms that would pay you maybe, like I did Firework at some point. I did a lot of money through that for a few months. I did nothing, and I kept making videos for nothing. And TikTok and Instagram and things like that, you can get paid, but it's a lot of work to do on top of YouTube. So don't go to too many platforms quickly. Also, making cool YouTube videos landed me videographer jobs, and that was paid super well because people saw my work and said, oh, I want you to film my convention, whatever, so that was great. And also merch, you can do t-shirts, pins, whatever. For me, I have my whole brand, so this is really difficult to tell you how much I made actually from Fluffitory through my videos, because now it's kind of part of my thing together. So I would say it's a good advertisement for Fluffitory, my YouTube channel, but it's not really like I'm selling merch through my YouTube, but you can maybe make some money with that, I don't know.
All right. I don't make much money from YouTube. To be honest, it's more of a hobby for me. And anything extra that comes in is like, oh, cool, thanks. I make $25 a month, maybe, from AdSense. And the thing about AdSense is, if you're very small like me and you don't get a lot of views, by the way, I got monetized like December of last year, so I'm still pretty new as far as like the YouTube partner program goes. if you don't make $100, they hold it and they roll it over to the next month. So I see money from YouTube like once a quarter at this point, or once every, it depends. Once every 3 months, every 4 months, because I don't make that much money from AdSense. I do streams, and once you get, I believe it's 100 subscribers, you can start doing streams on YouTube. And I get donations through that, through Super Chats. However, that's a feature you get once you become monetized. And Super Chats are just a way that people can like kind of tip you while you're in the stream. So I do occasionally make money from Super Chats. And that's like maybe $10 a stream, maybe average. I don't have a Patreon or a channel membership because I'm way too inconsistent and I don't want to commit to things that I can't deliver. However, I do have a Buy Me a Coffee, which is similar to like a Ko-fi or like a Patreon or things like that. And it's just a way for people to tip you that's not on YouTube. One thing about making money on YouTube for me that I found is being able to diversify where your money comes from, so it's not all from the same place. So Buy Me a Coffee is separate from Google, which is separate from Patreon, which is separate from, different platforms. So that way, if your money gets holed up in one company, you still have money coming from somewhere else. So Buy Me a Coffee is really cool. People can just send you money, add a little note. It's really nice. You can add a widget so it pops up if you're streaming, and people will be like, oh, there's my little donation. So that's kind of cool. Other than that, I think I did one sponsorship that was not worth it. Similar to what Joelle said, like editing videos, filming videos, it takes a lot of time and it's a lot of effort. And like she said, unless it's something that you are going to buy anyway and you're really going to use, it's the payoff isn't always there. And then there's affiliates, which is like if you click a link in someone's description, sometimes you get money back if they make a purchase on like Amazon. There's also different affiliate networks, which I'm not sure if you're going to talk about that or not.
I
don't do affiliates.
Oh, okay.
It's too much to keep track of.
Yeah.
I do the one from AliExpress.
You've done.
Yeah. So now I think I also have one for Superbuy, which is a shopping service, which is related, but then I only get shipping credits. So if people sign up and buy shipping, then I get a few cents, and then that adds up to something I can use to ship my own thing. It's not cash they give me, but it's already good. If you want to buy from Taobao, you will have to need shipping credits, so this is good. But it's not cash, so it's not happening. You pay your bills. So, yeah. And so which one do you use?
I use Amazon, which Amazon has its own rules, but if you shop on Amazon a lot, or a lot of the things that you recommend are on Amazon, it just makes sense to get an affiliate link, because if people are going to buy it anyway, that's just like extra money for you. And sometimes people really want to support you. You'll find that like if you're making videos and people want to have a way to give back to you, they can just click on your link to go buy groceries, and that'll still give you some affiliate revenue. So I'm like, hey, before you buy something, brother, can you just click this link through Amazon and then do your purchase? Because sometimes someone will buy like a mini fridge or something super expensive like a new MacBook, but because they clicked your link, you get some affiliate revenue from that, and it works. So,
yeah, this is very important. It's not necessarily the thing that you put. If you're linking a Lolita dress and people click on it and buy a camera, that's it. And they will keep the cookie on your computer for 24 to 48 hours, depending on the website. So even if they clicked and looked and went away, and the next day they come back and buy something from that site, you still get the affiliate, so that's good.
Yeah, I pretty much look for affiliate links from people I know. Whenever I buy anything from Amazon, I'm like, you got a link? All right, I'm just going to give you a little bit of money. So yeah. Affiliates is honestly how a lot of YouTubers make a lot of their money. So, yeah.
But there's not that many for Lolita, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Okay.
I
Can I
love
have the
this
next
slide.
slide,
I love
please?
this slide.
All right, so let's talk business, friends. Let's get into sponsors. No matter what level of YouTube you are, you will be contacted by MCNs. Don't join one. Please don't. They will hassle you. They'll try to make it sound like it's a great deal, and it's not. I've listed some famous ones here. Broadband specifically, I've had to block so many times. But what they are is they're a multi-channel network, and they offer you management tools like sound libraries and all of these things to help you, and they'll offer coaching and stuff, but it's all things that you can really do on your own. And a lot of the times they'll trap you in a contract, and once your contract's up, all that great royalty-free music you had, now all those videos you can't monetize anymore. And they're a very new business that doesn't have established boundaries, and there's a really great game theory video talking about it, because a lot of them just suddenly close and will keep a lot of money from YouTubers. The thing is that MCNs will take a percentage of your ad revenue, and you can get other management that will pay you. They'll take a percentage of the jobs that they bring you. That's how management should work. That's how actors, managers work. Nobody should be taking a percentage of your ad revenue. They should only be doing it for the jobs that they bring you, because not all of your ad revenue is sponsored content. Not all of your videos are going to be sponsored. So please don't join an MCN. It will be very stressful. I've only heard negative stories from them. Can I have my next slide, please? So these Upfluence, Grapevine, these are kind of platforms for creators to find sponsors. So there'll be listings from brands, and you can kind of pitch your ideas for them, and you can kind of show them the kind of content that you make. Some of them have profiles where you can list off the kind of work that you want to make, your kind of style. And it really helps you connect with brands. And then from there, you can email those brands, and I've found 1 or 2 jobs from these sites, and then made connections with people within their marketing, and then just continue to talk to them personally, one-on-one, and they've connected with other people. So it's a great way to start and find, is to just go check out Grapevine. Other influencer, Aspire, AQ, Pixely is great. One thing is that there are a lot of scam sites like this, and so if they ever ask you to log into YouTube, don't do it. If they ever ask for your banking information to submit a pitch, don't do it. And also just Google company name for both a brand that you're working with or these influencer platforms. Just Google that name scam, that name scandal, and it will really help you kind of navigate, and also look at where your emails are coming from, what is the address. And you can also just look into brands that you want to work with and just send them pitches. Just look for whatever their marketing team is and just try and shoot them a message, contact their customer service, say, hey, I have this idea and I want to work with you. I mean, the worst that they can say is no, so why not? And you can even make kind of your own email for this and fill in the blanks for different companies and just send it out. So can I have my next slide, please? All right. So when you're first starting out, you're obviously not going to have branded content to show companies, so you kind of have to make some on your own, but some great ways that you can do that is by reviewing products, and you can kind of use that as a way to say, hey, I made this review on my own. Here's an example of the kind of work that I can do. So these videos at the top, my shopping service review, this bodyline styling dress, these are videos that I just made on my own to kind of review those pieces and show the kind of work that I can do. And having a media kit is really helpful, which is sort of this resume style. There's so many different free, I just literally Googled media kit template and found this and just put it together. And on it I show my information, kind of a little brief mention of what I do, my social media statistics. People are going to be interested in what your demographics are, what your audience is, brands that I've worked with, and then the services that I offer. So I find that it's in YouTube sponsors, generally most people have 3 rates. They'll have a rate for like a shout out, which is a really quick kind of 30-second mention of a brand. They'll have an integration, which is 1 to 3 minutes talking about the brand, and then a dedicated video, which is basically a video like 10 to 20 minutes, depending on how long your content is. So those kind of going to be like the lowest to highest, right? And you can use different, so Social Blue Book is a great source that you now have to pay for. It used to be free, but I feel like you can Google Social Blue Book equivalent, and it will show you, based on your statistics, what your rate should be. And you can kind of go off of your own judgment of if that's like a little bit too high or a little bit too low, and kind of like use it to guesstimate. I would always like pitch to a brand higher, because why not? A lot of times they also kind of play off of you. They'll try to like really lowball you. So it's important to know your value and know your worth. And there's no harm in turning down sponsors. And you might find that if you turn them down, they're like, well, actually, maybe we can do this rate instead. So. And remember taxes. A lot of people in the past, a lot of people have made YouTube videos, make all this money, and they don't realize that, again, before 2021, YouTube never used to withdraw taxes, and now they do. So you have to pay taxes on the money that you make. Can I have my next slide? All right, so you should always have a written contract. Even if you're accepting free product in exchange for work, you should have a contract of what is expected of you, because if you don't, then the company can say, well, can you also do this? Can you also do this? Can you also do, and it's really annoying. And you can find a lot of templates for contracts online, but the basic things that you want to cover are the payment terms, how you're being paid, all of the work that's expected, your own expectations. So this would be like, if you get a product and you realize that it's defective, like you want to have in your contract that, oh, I don't want to be obligated to review this if it's defective, if it's not up to the quality that I like. If the company turns out to be really shady, you want to have a way out in your contract. The submission date, that would be when you send it to the company for their approval. A round of edits is really important, because a company, if you don't have that listed in your contract, they'll repeatedly be like, oh, can you change this? Can you add this? Can you? And it's like, you've got to put a hard end on when you want to be done with your edits. So I usually do 1 round of edits, and then a go live date when it will go live on your channel, and an end of your contract, which is really important, because a lot of companies will kind of trap you in what's called perpetuity, which means that you have to have your video on YouTube forever. And a lot of times, companies will change, or information will come out, and maybe you don't want to be associated with them anymore, or maybe you don't want to have that up. So you want to say, usually it's within 6 months, and you can leave that video up, but having that closure is really good for you, and you can kind of have the freedom to decide whether you want to keep that content up or not. And you can find a lot of free, just like a freelance contracts. You can find a lot online, just templates. And if you know anyone in your life who does freelance work, I'm surprised, starting YouTube, there's not even just with YouTube, there's lots of different people that I know, they're like welders and working construction, and they have so much experience with doing contract work and working contract to contract. So even if it's not media or YouTube specific, people that do freelance work can really help you and kind of tell you their tales of where it goes wrong and what to have in contracts. So that's my sponsor lecture. Thank you all for listening.
It's very
Hope
helpful.
you all can connect with some good brands.
Awesome. Okay. So now we're going to talk about live streaming, which is the new hotness in YouTube. It's not really not new. I think live streaming's actually been around for a while, but since the panini, a lot of people have started live streaming like myself. And like I mentioned, I do 2 live streams a month, and I feel like my channel is leaning more towards doing live streams because there's a lot of benefits from doing live streams, especially for the Lolita community. We do have like J Fashion events that are live streamed, which I think a lot of you are probably familiar with. So that's just an example of the types of Lolita content that you could have on YouTube when it comes to live streaming. One of the benefits of doing live streaming is that, especially during the Panera Bread, it really builds community. A lot of us were in our houses for a long time and we weren't able to see each other, and having somewhere to go to interact in real time with other people that wasn't through comments is really, really big and really, really impactful, at least for me. Like, being able to communicate with people on the internet through video, I call them my internet friends, through live streams is really, really helpful for a lot of people. There's a lot of people here that I think we've all met through, online and through streams that we've sat in or J Fashion events that we've watched. And it's been really good for keeping the Lolita community connected. And if you've ever been trying to get more connected with other Lolitas, I can't recommend live streaming enough. I know it probably sounds very intimidating, but it's my jam right now, and I just want everybody to do live streaming because I like hanging out with people on the internet in my PJs without having to turn on a camera and watching someone else. Another reason why live streaming is really great, and another reason why I would recommend it, is because it helps you get over your fear of being on camera super fast. It also helps you learn how to adjust on the fly really fast, because a lot of things can go wrong during live streams. And that's okay, because you'll learn how to pivot, you'll learn how to deal with it real quickly, and you'll get over that fear of being on camera. You'll get over I don't like the way I sound, things like that, really, really fast. I've also, found that the community is everybody just really wants to be connected. So I know when I first started, I was like really scared of like, what if people don't like me? Or like, what if no one shows up? And I found that people during live streams are just real chill, and they just want to like hang out with you on the internet. So again, can't recommend it enough. We previously mentioned like repurposing your content, like TikTok and YouTube and things like that. But when you do live streams, you can take that long form video and then chop it up into smaller videos, and then you can have content that you can reuse, either as standalone YouTube videos or reels or things like that. So I found that you could do a stream like I'm doing, like a wardrobe organization stream or something. You can chop up parts of organizing your dresses, and you can chop up organizing your blouses, and those can be like a bunch of different videos. So if you're looking for a way to get out more content, doing a stream and then repurposing it later is a great way to do that. You can use any device to start live streaming. A lot of people stream right from their phone. I do believe that if you have 100 subscribers, you can start live streaming on YouTube through like the YouTube Studio, or you could use a standalone camera. I've found that people, again, will sit through a video that doesn't have good quality but has good audio. So if you wanted to get into streaming, you can definitely start with your phone or your webcam, so long as your audio was like really good. So you can definitely get started with any device that you have. And then you might be wondering, like, what software can you use? Honestly, there's a lot. If you really just wanted to get started and you were like, I want to press record, I want to press go live, you can go straight from YouTube Studio. It will connect to whatever camera you have attached to your computer or straight from your phone. StreamYard is also probably one of the easiest live streaming softwares I've used. It's browser-based, so you don't need a super crazy computer or anything like that. And it's really easy to bring in other people. It's really easy for them to get in onto a stream as well because it's super easy. A very, very popular one that's free is OBS. That's that black logo up there. I don't use OBS, but I know a lot of people do, and you could do a lot of really cool customization. So you can do crazy overlays or animations and multiple cameras, things like that if you want to get real fancy. OBS is an option for that. And then I personally use Ecamm, that's specifically for Mac, and it's similar to OBS as far as customization goes, but that's just my software of choice. If you were wanting to get into live streams and you're like, I don't know where to get started, I don't know what to do, some ideas could be like a weekly show or like a bi-weekly show or a monthly show. And you could talk about whatever you want in Lolita. You can talk about new releases. You can talk about showing off your wardrobe as a live stream, whatever you want to do. That's something you could get started with. I do a bi-weekly live stream called Frill Style Friday, where we just talk about Lolita stuff, or sometimes we just hang out on the internet, and it's a good time. You could do interviews, so you could interview other people in the community. I believe Bay Area K, some of their Lolitas are here. They do interviews with other people in the community as well. So you could interview your friends if you wanted to start with that. You could interview designers. You have plenty of options in the Lolita community. Or you could do like game shows. I love game shows, and I really want someone to do like Lolita, like Family Feud or like Lolita Wheel of Fortune, like as like a group stream. I feel like that would be really, really fun. Or you could just do like game night. Everyone can just hang out, get cute at home, turn on our cameras. Let's do like a Lolita game night. People in the chat can join in, things like that. And yeah, I could go on and on about live streaming. I love it. It's really easy. You don't have to edit the video later. That's honestly why I like it.
That's the best word.
You just hit record and what's done is done. And I've also found that like, it's okay to not be perfect. I think we can put a lot of pressure on ourselves to be really perfect when we hit record and have our script down, have our wig hair right, like all of that. But with live streams, like I found people really like it when you're just, you know what? My bangs are crooked. Who cares? I stumbled when I said this word. Like, who cares? We're all human. And people really connect with that a lot. So live streams really help with that. Joelle, you kind of do some live streams too, huh?
I do, and technically at the moment this is a big mess. So my boyfriend over there, Florian, is every time he's not here, like I have my monthly show, and I'm like, please be here and be free just in case. Every time he is not home, there's a mess. I don't know, YouTube is, I'm using the normal YouTube thing because OBS, I don't know, it freaks me out that it goes through another software. I used to do it on my phone, and I used to play live from my phone. That was perfect. Then it stopped working for me. So listen to her, because technically at the moment, I'm struggling with everything to live stream. But I want to second StreamYard. I've done a lot of those panels in the virtual events, and all the time they use StreamYard, and it's like Zoom, basically. You open it, and then you go backstage, and then you're live, and that's it. And so easy, everything. But if you don't want a big StreamYard logo, you have to pay a monthly fee, and then you have more customization things. But this is maybe something I would want to invest in if I had money, because I know it's so easy. So I would be less freaked out than going through OBS, I don't know.
Yeah. For streaming, when I use Ecamm, it's like $40 a month, which is kind of steep. But it's one of those things where it's like, if you want it done a certain particular way and you want to have the kind of freedom to like really make custom screens and windows and all kinds of crap flying in, it's just, I guess, just an investment. But the other thing I want to say about live streams is like, I know I have a Lolita channel, but sometimes I go live not wearing Lolita, and my subscribers still show up and we still hang out, and it's totally fine. So,
because they like you, and so this is,
like, yeah. I guess the biggest thing is like, don't worry about, are people going to show up? Are people going to like me? Because you'll find your tribe and you'll find your people, and they will show up. You could show up in a bonnet, and they'll be like, yeah, we're going to wear our bonnets. So, yeah. that's it about streaming.
Yeah.
Okay, growth strategies. How do we grow on YouTube? I'm still a baby YouTuber, I feel like.
How do we grow on YouTube?
I feel like just continually just writing down ideas and to have a couple things that you can do that are serialized. Have come up with an idea like Action Lolita, like fixing your chords, that you can do repeatedly, and so that way you can kind of scatter it through your schedule. Like, I don't know what to do, I'm just gonna do a Lolita Reacts to. You know, like, I'm gonna fill in my space there, and that can really help you balance your workload. And especially too, if you're doing something that's serialized, you can maybe film a bunch of those in one day, and then save them for the rest of the month, and then fill in whatever other videos you wanna do in between. And staying motivated, I feel like a lot of the time you can get a lot of inspiration from other sources that aren't Lolita. There's a lot of videos that I've adapted from other creators that had nothing to do with Lolita, and I was like, oh, that's a great idea. I could do this in a Lolita way. So just finding other inspirations and other things can help you not feel so like trapped in one thing, and can help you find different ways to express the content that you want to make. And just, again, like, if you feel burnt out, take that break. Don't ruin your relationship with social media. Move at your own pace, and just keep writing down those ideas and making them when you feel comfortable enough so that you have a good relationship with social media.
One of my tips to stay motivated would be to balance what the audience wants to see and what you like to make. Mm-hmm. For example, I love making Action Lolita, I love making Lolitas versus Normies. This takes a huge amount of time and money and everything, and it doesn't perform as well as if I'm just opening a package that I bought. And so this is depressing me so much that people just want to see you buy stuff and not want to see the creative side that you put. But I get so much out of me honing my creativity and doing that for me that I'm so happy that I created this, and maybe one day it will work out, I don't know. And people still want to see what I bought, so I still make hauls because it works. And also, as a Lolita, I think that when you want to drop $300 on a tiny stock photo like that, sometimes it's good to have videos of people showing it in details, the dress and everything. So I think the hauls are important in our community, but this is really boring to make, and you need to film all the things, like all the B-roll. So I don't know, I make hauls because people want to see hauls, but what keeps me motivated is my really cool project that I put all my effort in.
For me, the two things I would say about growing, staying motivated is to be yourself. It's hard to maintain a persona long term. So when you hit that record button or you hit that go live button, be yourself. You will find people that like you, and you don't have to pretend, and it's not going to feel like work to get videos recorded or to do lives. And then another thing is something I don't know if we really talked about too much, is like the algorithm and trying to chase numbers. It can be very discouraging at first, especially if you're new, when you're constantly checking how many views you have, what's your watch time, things like that. I know they're really important when you're starting, but when you're starting, focus on making videos that you like making, that's fun to you, and don't worry so much about like metrics and subscribers and watch hours, because that can be, especially if you're listening to a lot of like YouTube gurus, they're gonna tell you, record, make videos, get them out. But that's gonna burn you out before you really find your jam. So don't worry about the numbers too much. You'll get there if you're yourself and you continue to put your best foot forward and you're having fun with it. Because when it stops being fun, that's when you stop doing YouTube, and you don't want it to ever not be fun. So that's what I got about growth and staying motivated.
Can we take a few questions? We have time?
Yeah.
I think we're just over time. but I don't know.
Does anyone have any? Thank you. Anyone have any questions for any of us?
Do you want to start YouTube, or are you all depressed now and you don't want to start YouTube?
Who here has a YouTube channel?
Oh, dang.
Marina, you have
You have a
Yeah.
YouTube channel.
Marina K, great YouTube channel. Okay. So yeah, there's quite a few already with YouTube channels.
Is anyone here interested in
Do you
starting
have a
YouTube
question?
channel?
Yeah, yeah.
It really depends. I hear that you spend way more
Yeah.
time than me.
So depends on the video. I'd say like React videos take like 2 hours. The videos that I make that are more like video essays where I'm in different locations take probably about 15 hours. And then convention videos generally take about 60 hours.
What?
Because I have to
Dang.
go through all of the footage and write a script and do a voiceover and add graphics.
Holy
So it really it's really all over the place. But editing is really what I'm passionate about. It's like where I really put my focus in school. It's where I really put together my narrative, and I love editing. It's if one of you could just be the face of Lovely Lore and I could just edit it and like film it and write it, I would love that. Like being the persona is my least favorite part. So I definitely put a lot more effort into editing that I don't necessarily need to, but it's where I feel passionate. So, yeah. What about you guys?
I think normal videos, like smaller videos, would take me 1 to 5 hours, I would say. Like a haul is about 3 hours. And Action Lolitas and things like that is like, I think my max is 35 hours on one like 2 minutes video. No, not true. Action Lolitas are long, but yeah, Lolitas versus Normies, it's so long. Like the editing part is not necessarily the longest part because, like you said, you sometimes have to write the script. When I do scripted videos, it takes like hours and hours just writing it, then filming it, then also coordinating with many people. That takes so much time. So you also need to get all that into the production. It's not just the editing. So. Yeah.
I would say on it, about 4 to 6 hours usually. I'm like Laura, I love editing, and I kind of go buck wild Walters with my editing. I add like crazy transitions and like sound effects, and I'm really big into music. So I'll spend like an hour trying to find background music. I'm like the only person who cares, but yeah.
I care. I like your editing a lot. I like your editing a lot.
But I did one video. It was like a big like here's how you plan your first trip to Japan video, which was almost an hour. And that probably took about 40 hours because there's a lot of B-roll in there. So if you're adding B-roll and like some of the stuff they mentioned, like that really takes up a lot of time. So, yeah.
Yes. I would just say like, for me, it's just making lists of things that I want to do. For me, I never like even planned to become a YouTuber. It just was like, let me make shit Lolitas say. And then people kept giving me ideas for them. And I was like, that's a great idea. And it just like kept going off. Another way is to like ask your friends, ask your audience, like what's missing? What do you want to see? And you can also do that for yourself too. Like, what do you want to see? What is the kind of content that you want to make? And so that really helps me. Momentum. When I was starting.
I was also going to agree, like make the kinds of videos that you wish existed, and then making the lists, and then I started with like dress review videos because there's so many dresses in Lolita, especially if we talk about all of the indie brands, and there's so many things to say and showcase, and that's like a great way to like have motivation to make videos, especially if they're dresses that you love that no one else ever talks about. So that's one way you could do it. And again, don't look at the numbers. I'm telling you, the metrics is like, I don't look at them anymore. And I looked at them a little bit in the beginning, but like that can be really discouraging, especially because people are like, oh, well, my video's not getting a ton of views. Like, don't focus on it. Focus on making the videos that you wish existed. So yeah.
Talking about lists, I have actually a list of 200 to 300 video IDs that I actually never get to film because I have so many other things coming up that I need to film. And so every couple of maybe like 6 months or something, I just go and remove things that I might have done or might be out of trend or whatever. So I'm actually never going to this list. So you had a question? Sure.
Yeah. Yeah.
If you are entering the Handmade Lolita Fashion Cord Contest, please go to the Flex Space ASAP to check in. Thank you so much. So if we can take like one more question.
Yeah.
Thank you all so much.
Thank you. Okay, one more question. Yeah.
I do. I made that mistake of doing too many things so unrelated on the same channel, and I lost a bunch of subscribers and everything. So do separate channels. People are only looking at one thing that you do and might really not be interested in other things and might not subscribe and not follow you for that, which is stupid, but yeah.
But you can put your second channel like in the corner. You can have it like on featured channels, put in your description, and just mention so that if there is that crossover, they can see that you have another channel. Yeah.
But
Thank you
then
all so much.
maintaining several channels is super, super, super hard. So being consistent on many channels is impossible. So focus on the one you want to focus and keep the one for when you have to put something, do it on the second one, but trying to be consistent on several channels. Believe me, I tried. I think I have 4 channels or something, but I'm only publishing on one.
All right.
Okay, yeah.
Well, thank you all so much for
Thank
attending our
you.
panel.
It
We're
was
so
so
sorry
great.
for starting
Thank you so
late. We
much.
appreciate your patience. And yeah, I look forward to seeing everybody's YouTube channel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I want to see.
Oh, and by the way, we wanted to try and get a picture of all the Lolita YouTubers that are here, if we can, maybe tomorrow at the tea party?
Yeah.
Should we coordinate that? Let's come all together and make a group picture tomorrow. Thank you, and enjoy the Handmade Lolita Coordinate Contest.
Yeah.